do like to point to Moderna. 15 drugs in 5 years. What a wonderful North Star in an industry where it typically takes 10 years to bring one drug to market. They were able to mobilize the organization behind it. And they were able to do it using an approach similar to what I outlined in the book. I researched best practices and I baked those in the model. Not only identifying your AI leads or your AI champion, many organizations are doing that. What they're not doing is systematically supporting those leads. With Moderna, they had a prompting contest. They identified their 100 strongest prompters, labeled those their AI leads. They also fired up an online community. So now we're talking about communities of practice. And that community had over 2,000 active users a week. We're starting to ignite what Peter Senge calls the learning organization. And we're doing it very deliberately with deliberate action. So we put in, this also starts to bring in John Cotter and change management. We identify our leads, we get our early wins, we start to spread that socially in creating space and time for people to experiment. We're doing that all behind strong communication and advocacy with leadership. Compare that with a Shopify that says use AI or else, and we plan on laying off half the staff. Like, who's going to want to lean into that? People always ask, is it top down? Is it bottom up? Harvard has this study that says it's actually middle out, that if you start to activate the middle level of your organization, what those individuals do is they start to tie together strategy and execution, and they're the translation layer. So if we go back to Moderna's example, they're able to connect the 15 drugs in 5 years with the operational reality on the ground. And that operational reality might be, we don't have any capacity to actually use AI or learn AI. And so the middle management layer has enough positional authority to help create that capacity or work with senior management to prioritize our initiatives a little differently so we can integrate AI at the ground level. You can see how these decisions around the organizational rollout of AI start to impact the success rate. Things are changing every 3 to 6 months. I have what I call the AI learning flywheel. The quadrants of the flywheel are spark, spread, scale, and sustain. In the beginning, the goal is to spark interest. This thing is cool. What does it mean for me? We have something we call the Applied AI Workshop, and it's to get that spark going. We work on your workflows. It's amazing to see people spark. And then we spread it through the AI leads. The AI leads start to teach these applied AI workshops. And now we can scale because we have many people in the organization who are qualified to create the spark in a hyper-localized manner. It's your team, your people, your context. Those people are supported by what I call the AI Activation Hub. Depending on the size of the organization, this is fractal. If you're a small organization, you might have one AI Activation Hub. If you're a huge organization, you'll have a network of hubs, and they are in charge of supporting the AI leads. They're the ones who are your monitors around AI changes, and they start to optimize the learning and distribute it through the leads to the practitioners. In this way, you're starting to sustain this flywheel because you've got a system where people are continually monitoring what's going with AI, and they've got a way to distribute it out to the organization, keeping the entire organization up to date. One of the first questions I get is, Melissa, are we talking about new headcount? People are very concerned about that. The answer is no, but you do need to start building capacity, measure the impact, start to just learn your way to what kind of support your organization needs to start moving the needle and really demonstrating ROI with your AI implementations.